Welcome back to my book channel. My name is Lauren, and today it's like super early. It's literally 7:40 in the morning. I wanted to get this done while I still had it fresh in my mind. I know I've been talking about that I was going to read some more of the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling. Attempted to read the second book, Welcome to the Dark Side, and then I DNF'd it. But I have the Angst and Lies, and that's what this is about. So I finished Angst and Lies, and this one is about Nova and Flower Child. Oh my gosh, what is her real name? Leela. She knew she was in love with him when she was like 5 and he was a teenager. Like, it's a difference. It's a difference. She is a interracial child. Her father is Hispanic. Her father is a drug dealer of the town. She has an older brother who is her life. He takes care of her. He loves her. It's just like very, very cute. We start this off with her finding out that Nova's family was moving in when she was 5, and there's a gunshot that happens in her house. So her brother tells her to stay in the front yard. He'll see what's going on. Nova's parents come over along with him. Before he became Nova, his name is Jonathan. So Jonathan and his parents come over and try to distract her. His father calls the cops and all that jazz. She's 5, so she's not like, she kind of knows something's wrong. And her Jonathan's father and mother tell her like, hey, come over to our side so you can meet our children. One of them's almost the same age as you. And she's like, oh, I can't. My brother's inside there too. That makes the parents look even more worried. So Jonathan's father knocks on the door. Lila's father opens the door and have this little tiff together. Finally, we get to understand that like he loves Lila and he loves his son, Dane, but how he shows he loves his son is to prove, like, to show him how to be a man, which means how to take care of the family, how to be a drug dealer, all this, like, things that, like, not affection. But when it comes to Lila, he is very affectionate. He loves her. Their mother, on the other hand, loves them both, but is not trying to be in the house with a drug dealer. So she leaves her children in the house with a drug dealer. And she only comes home at night when both of them are asleep. So this story goes from like when she's 5, and it literally continues until she's 21, 22. 1/3 of the book happens when she's a child. We get the point where her mother dies. Her father is put in jail for her murder, even though it wasn't really her murder. Like, he didn't actually shoot her, like, and kill her. Someone else did, but he took the charge for it. So he's been in prison for life. Lila and Dane get separated, but Jonathan's parents have been like trying to get them put into their house, and it does happen, but it takes some time. And then, you know, we have like a happily family for a period of time until Dane tells the family that he wants to go to the military, but there's a war going on, and she's just like, I don't want you to do that because like there's a war going on. And you know how that ends with him dying, and that's still a thing. So yeah, her childhood to teenage years are rough. I even cried when I found out that he died. It was rough for me because I was in the military. Yeah, it was just knowing that like your friend like would be there one day and then the next day your friend's gone and you can't do anything about that. Very rough. Very rough. Jonathan finds out about the Fallen Men MC, and he joins it. I'd say before we find out that Dane has died in service, but we find out like why his name is Nova. It's actually Casanova because he is a ladies' man, very, very ladies' man. So with this story, after you get to the childhood, you get to where she's 21. She is trying to be available for him. She knows that he does things with women, but she is holding out her heart for hoping that he will be in love with her. Like, she's always just there. Then one night, it just like hits the fan and he breaks her heart, calling her very pathetic because she's holding out for him. He doesn't want her. She's a child. So she decides to let him go, like he wanted her to. And then we go fast forward 2 years. So now she's 23. She is engaged. And for those 2 years, she doesn't really like interact with him. They have Sunday dinners at his family's house where she can't really interact. So she can't really like not go. But they pretend to be okay with each other, but they don't talk. And when he tattoos her, she always brings someone else with her. So it's not him and her. She doesn't want that talking to. And this happens for 2 years. Some more things happen, like with death, that I cried with. But basically, it's her going to spy on another rival gang because she feels like she needs to for the family, which is the Fallen Men. And Nova finally coming to his senses, understanding that like what he was doing to her, he doesn't apologize for it, but he now understands that like, yes, he's in love with her. And if you can tell that like I'm trying to like tell you this story without like giving all of it away, it's because like after a certain point in time, I just gave up on the story. Like, I wasn't interested anymore. I think it was once we got out of her childhood in the story, I just didn't care anymore. But I wanted to finish the book because I was 1/3 in the book. A lot of things do happen. There's like some very significant betrayals. There is some shocking twist, very shocking to the point where I was just like, oh my gosh. And since I did not read any of the other books before this, besides the first book and part of the second book, I did not know that a character in here that has died was still alive. So if I read the fourth book, I would know that King, even though he gets shot and falls off the cliff, that was actually just like fake. He faked his own death. But if you don't know that from the fourth book, then in this book, it just tells you he dies. It doesn't bring it back up. Like, he doesn't come up again. So here I was thinking that King has died this whole entire time, and I'm crying and bawling my eyes out. Then I read for the fourth book because I was like, oh, okay, well, whose book is fourth book? And it's King and Queenie's book. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to read that because it's going to end in like death. Then I found out like, no, it doesn't. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have skipped around, but none of the other books like spoke to me, and then I forgot about the fourth book. So, but I gave this book a 3. Again, I was just bored of it. Not bored of it. I was just uninterested after, because we went through this whole entire childhood thing. So yeah, but you can tell this is the age gap. It's the MC romance, and our heroine is kind of badass. She's definitely badass. But our hero, he is kind of broken because he feels like the only reason he kept being away from her and telling her that he and her can't be together is because he felt that he couldn't bring anything to the relationship and she deserves something more. he kept saying that he was worthless, so she shouldn't be with someone who's worthless. And there's a reason why he believes that, because it stems from something that happened when they were children and he was dating someone, and that person does come up. But other than that, like, this book was okay. I would recommend this book for people who like MC romances, but I wouldn't reread this book, if you know what I mean. It's just not for me to reread, because it wasn't inspiring enough for me to just like, oh my gosh, I want to read this again. Like, I would read Lessons in Corruption again because I thought it was really, really great. This one is just okay, but I would recommend this to people. Well, that is it. My name is Lauren. I post a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes Sunday. So please be subscribed so you can get notified when I am uploading. It's very cold in here, so I'm actually going to go to work. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!